Without question is Ross Lyon's decision to leave St Kilda. Mark Harvey sacked from Fremantle, and your good mate is now the coach of the Dockers, Rob.
He is, and it is extraordinary because I don't think many people saw this coming at all, and I certainly had no idea. I was like everybody else, shocked when I heard the news. And it split opinions about whether it should have happened, whether Ross should have stayed with St Kilda, whether Fremantle did the right thing in sacking Mark Harvey. The bottom line is, Ross had a get-out clause in his contract with the Saints, which he chose to use, and you can't blame him for that. He was looking for long-term security with St Kilda. He had asked for a 4-year extension of contract, no strings attached, and St Kilda finally, he asked for that very early in the year. St Kilda finally gave that on the Wednesday, and on the Wednesday he was halfway through discussing an opportunity to go over and coach Fremantle. They had the Dockers had spoken to him a couple of weeks ago, and they decided, let's hold off until the season's over.
Yep.
And I guess, and Ross said it in his presser, the Dockers were able to come to him with a deal in the space of 72 hours that took St Kilda about 6 months to put together. Footy's a business, it's a ruthless business. This is the ruthless side of it. I don't blame him one bit. In fact, I think he's made the right call, because I personally think that St Kilda, their premiership window is closed, and I think they'll probably be bottom half of the ladder over the next 4 or 5 seasons. It's going to be a rebuilding stage there. Whereas I look at the Dockers, and I think that with a young list, a lot of injuries this year, I'm really confident that they'll bounce back and be top 8 for the next 4 or 5 years, and chance to be top 4, chance to be in grand finals.
Well, I think the person that you feel for in this is Mark Harvey, and that goes without saying. And look, Ross said that himself. It's got nothing to do with Ross, that. He was blindsided completely, had no idea that it was coming. But as you said, it's not the first coach that has had a tap on the door and been sacked. And when you sign up to be a senior coach, you've got to be fully aware that that's going to be the case. I'm with you. I think if you're an ally of Ross Lyon, you say, you've done the right thing by yourself and by your family. And look, I can understand the gentleman's agreement in football that you don't poach coaches that are under contract, but this was a unique clause. Other coaches haven't got this. Fremantle saw the opportunity, they seized on the opportunity, and credit to them. They've actually, probably for the first time in history, been really bold and said, we're going to do this regardless of the consequences.
I mean, we all feel for Mark Harvey, but I think it's the best thing that Fremantle Football Club has ever done.
I agree with you, and I think it'll prove to be that. In the 17 years that they've been in existence, what have the Dockers done? Not very much. Played in finals 2 years.
I think they're going to be in for a rude shock once he gets there.
Oh, look, I think it'll be the best thing. And I think it'll be really good for Ross Lyon to take over a new coach, new expectations. So I think it's a win for Fremantle, a win for Ross Lyon, and it could well be a win for St Kilda Footy Club too, because, he's a pretty demanding coach, and I don't think he can squeeze any more out of that group. I think that what he's done over the 5 years has been really, really good.
Before we get another comment from you, Rob, I want to play a couple of grabs. Firstly, from the AFL CEO, Andrew Demetriou, on his reading of the Mark Harvey situation.
I think, on balance, I think people are entitled to ask questions about issues of commitment, integrity. It's a very strange 24 hours, and I think it is understandable that people are questioning the value of contracts and commitments and so forth. I mean, I feel desperately for Mark Harvey, obviously.
So that's Andrew Demetriou. Now let's have a look at some quotes from Kevin Sheedy, of course, coached Mark Harvey. It was very disappointing and difficult. I was on the Coaches Association for a couple of years, helping to make sure we looked after our coaches. Mark loved coaching the Dockers. This is like coming out of a war zone and being shot by one of your own.
Well, it's pretty emotional language, but just firstly with Andrew Demetriou, he talks about the integrity. I would say next year we will have a 20-year-old playing for Greater Western Sydney who will be earning more money than anybody, $2 million a season, Tom Scully, who to this stage hasn't done much at all. Not knocking the kid, I'm knocking the AFL, the business that the AFL is, that they can allow a 20-year-old to do that. This year, who are the highest paid players in the competition? We're talking players like Ablett and Judd, tick, fantastic. And who would be the next two? We're talking players like Carmichael Hunt, who didn't finish in Gold Coast top 10 in their best and fairest. And Izzy Folau. So you want to talk about integrity. You're talking about a business an organisation that allows that to happen. No wonder the players are screaming out for more when they see the AFL allow that sort of thing to happen. As far as Kevin Sheedy goes, did you hear him complain last year when Essendon were working behind the back of Matthew Knights? And you had people like David Evans, James Hird, Bomber Thompson, all talking, discussing, putting this plan together behind Matthew Knight's back. I didn't hear any sympathy for Matthew Knights then. And the other question I'll ask, how did Mark Harvey get his job with the Dockers? He took over when they sacked Chris Connolly. So is there a coach's code? I don't think so. It's a business, and it's a ruthless business. And people want to be selective with what they hear. And it's an emotional business too. And I can understand Kevin Sheedy supporting Mark Harvey, but 12 months ago he didn't support Knights.
Let's have a look at Ross Lyon's coaching record, and it really has been outstanding for the St Kilda Footy Club. Number 2 behind Mickey Malthouse, winning percentage of 63.5, Luke.
Look, I think he's a sensational coach. I think he just wins, and as Rob said, he's a really demanding individual. Been a bit surprised by some of the commentary about St Kilda and St Kilda people saying good riddance. And this is a man who got them into the last 2 grand finals. You can come and coach the club I barrack for if you can deliver wins. I don't care what the scoreline is, just get the result. And as we said before, Ross is going to be a really strong and successful coach at Fremantle.
Let's have a look at the top 6 coaches from season 2010. Mick Malthouse at the end of this year, gone. Ross Lyon, gone. Mark Thompson, gone. Rodney Eade, good night. Paul Roos, gone. Mark Harvey.
Well,
it is a ruthless
it just shows you how quickly it can change, and if we keep looking at that, the other thing about it, it just shows you that most coaching situations end in tears. Malthouse is ending in tears. Who are the others up there? Rodney Eade ended in tears. Yeah. You've got Bomber Thompson ended in tears. You've got Paul Roos, that was a happy ending, rarely happens. Yeah. You've got Mark Harvey ending in tears. And go to the ones that aren't even up there.
Neil
Bailey
Craig.
Ended in tears.
Yeah.
Eade ended in tears.
Neil Craig.
Craig ended in tears. If you take on a coaching job...
Expect tears.
Good I've been there and done that a couple of times. So, you know, if you go into the job...
It goes with the territory.
It's a 95% chance it's going to end in a sad way.